Hello, FlossTube. Oh, my husband just really made me laugh. My name is Shanda. I live along the Continental Divide in Idaho, and I am here to talk about stitching. I don't have any quilting today. Sorry, that's going to be for a summer episode. But today I have FFOs, I have FOs, I have some whips, I have some 1 month radar starts, and my designer that I'd like to highlight for some charts I have kitted up and projects I want to start this year is Stacy Nash. So let's get started. Two. One is now and one I finished a while ago, but I got it reframed. So and I'm gonna try really hard not to say all the time. I need to articulate better, so bear with me as I practice that. The one FFO I have is for my friend Nicole. It was a Mania of 2020 start, and I wanted to start it for her. It is from the book Stacy Nash Hollyhock from Hollyhock Farm. And it is this 1823 pin keep right here. And I did not finish it like that. I just finished it into a small, very flat, maybe she could stand it in her bookcase. That's one love we share together, is books and cross stitch. There it is. The horse almost looks like a unicorn to me. And this really was a study in stitch count. The top 1823, if you look really carefully, I did not fill it in like it is filled in here. It's filled in with a really light color. Let me show that to you one more time. It's filled in with a really light color, that 1823, and then around this one, what I would call a star or quilting motif, there's some little doodads. I left those off, but she had asked me a while ago what a few terms meant. I had taught her to cross stitch way back in the 90s, I believe. The top 1823 is 2 threads over 2, and this is done on 22 count. The horse is done 1 over 1, so it's much smaller. And if you look in the book, this motif is bigger than this one. Let me show this one more time and kind of hold it up side by side. So see how that is? So this motif I stitched 1 over 1, and this motif I stitched 2 over 2, and look at the difference in sizes when you kind of mess with your count. 1 over 1 floss versus 2 over 2, and it just gives it a totally different look. My horse is much smaller, but I'm really loving, I love this. I've not known Stacy to do many projects with a shading kind of motif, but I love the little bars he's standing on. It's variegated. It was a little bit of each one of the colors that were up there in the top part. But this was called for DMC. Yeah, this is mainly a study in learning stitch count, size, how things will stitch out in proximity to other motifs in the, sorry, car just drove by, caught my eye. How they relate in size. Even though the chart, this was bigger than this one, when you stitch it the way I stitched it, 1/1, 2/2, it reversed those, the sizes of those motifs. So 1823 horse pin keep. It's got a little black bulb button on the top and some buttons, and this is going to my friend Nicole in California. Really like that. So yeah, that was a mania start for me in May of 20, just as the pandemic was hitting, and I knew I wanted to stitch it for her because it was a horse and she loves horses. So the second one, I showed this as something that my mother-in-law gave back to me. It was it just says sail away on the back, and I've tried researching this and I cannot find it, but it was in this big awful frame with a mat board around it, and I stitched this back in 1991, and I won't go into it, but look at all the back stitching. This is not my stitching style now, but it was for my father-in-law, and he loves antique sailing ships, sailing boats, and so I had stitched it for him, and he passed away in November of 20. Yes, November of 20, and she'd given this back to me, and I took it down and had a new frame put on it, and that frame, definitely, it's a raised frame, but it looks like floats and buoys to me. So I'll put this in our bedroom. My husband wanted it back, so he can enjoy it now. But anyway, Sail Away, stitched by Shanda, June of 1991. I had him save the original little label that I had written on the back of the sticky board, because that's how I framed things. I framed it for myself. I did this when we were newlyweds. Yeah, we'd been married about 3 or 4 years, and I stitched this. So that had came back from the framers. I do have 2 out to the framers. I have, I believe it's Liberty House from Brenda Gervais with I Needle and Thread, and I have my Joanne at 1841. So I should have those for my next video to show you. Okay, the next 1, 2, 3 projects are just FOs, but one is my daughter's. She stitched me for my birthday in February, Seeking Refuge. She just blows me away. I'm so proud of my daughter. But her back is almost as good as her front. And this is probably the 3rd or 4th thing she's stitched. But I had to laugh. She did this on 20 count. And that border down there, the black and the green, she had given this to me for my birthday, but that black and that green border on the bottom wasn't done. And I didn't know what she was doing. I didn't know she was stitching. I knew she was stitching something, and she has been working on the Heartland Sampler by Scarlet House. But she calls me and she says, "Mom, I'm getting really frustrated with this floss. Do you have some of that that stuff?" And I said, "Do I have some of what stuff? What do you need?" And she said, "That stuff, that stuff that you know, like chapstick for your floss." Well, she was meaning thread magic, and I said, "Yes, dear, I have chapstick for your floss." So, needless to say, she was working on this on the bottom part of this, some of the border and stuff, and her floss was getting really knotted up and whatnot. So, I'm just very proud of her. Now I'm going to frame this. It will literally fit in an 11 by 14 frame, and I will get this framed and on my wall. It's the start of my Red House Sampler wall, and I've got 2 or 3 other things that I'm going to put on there. Mary Bell, Cherry Hollow Farm, which is right back here right now. It's just propped in my shelf, and over here? Oh, Baby, It's Cold Outside. I'm just gonna leave that one up all year. So that's my daughter Sarah's FO. I personally have 2 FOs this month. They're kind of small, but one is a free chart from Pinker and Pumpkin, and it's just called Heart and Home. And I stitched it for Valentine's Day, and I can show you the chart because it's a free chart, but that's what it looks like from her website. I think it's on her blog, actually. Pinker, like N, Pumpkin, and I believe it's her blog. And ignore this part right here. This was the start of my Jobiana when I was trying to do it 1/1 on 28 count linen, and this linen was really open weave and it was driving me crazy. So rather than throw that whole corner away, I just stitched it down here in this, and then I'll turn it into a small little pillow or something this summer when I'm up at my studio and I have more room to kind of spread out and do a lot of finishing. But there's that small little one, but it was on my list to do for 2022, so I got another whip done. The last one I want to talk about was a stitch along with my friend Lisa. Lisa Hoops and Hooks is what her handle is on Instagram. She's from Wisconsin, and we decided to, from the book My Name is Lydia, which Stacy just released the Lydia Corker sampler here for market. It's a beautiful sampler. Lisa and I stitched Lydia Corker pocket roll. I hope I said that right. And there's a picture of it. And this is my finish. Lisa finished hers before I did, but see if I can get that up there so you can see it. My initials at the bottom, SL. The S looks kind of funky, but I copied the one at the top. I loved it, and I wish I would have done something kind of funky weird with the L too, but oh well. And I will be turning this into a needle roll. I think not maybe a sewing pocket, but I will be turning this into a needle roll. Lisa, I stitched it on called for 32, and this is Zweigart Belfast linen. Sorry for that light bulb behind there. It's coming through my project. And I changed no, it said 1820. The only thing we changed is Lisa picked a little bit pinkier pink instead of what was called for. And she chose 3859. So these were my colors. In the usual Stacy fashion, just absolutely stunning, very earthy tones. But Lisa gets credit for changing that pink on the called for chart to 3859, so it would stand out a little bit better. Good job, Lisa. Thank you. It was fun stitching that with you. Okay, what have I been working on? For Blackbird weekend, I took a few stitches, not many, on my little birds. And I tried ironing this, but because it's so big, didn't quite happen. But I'm just going to show you the chart through my project bag. Little birds from Blackbird Designs. Sorry, that vinyl is kind of, and I am stitching this. My husband and I will have been married 35 years in June, and I'm just going to make this for a wedding sampler. I don't see why I couldn't. It's I just love it. Let me take it out of the thing here. And that little chartouche down there, I'll just put our wedding information, our date, and our names. But little birds, by Blackbird Designs. And here is what I worked on. This was the first weekend of the month. And I had said last month that I was kind of running into a problem. I'm kind of converting to stitching 2/2. This is 32 count, or 2/1. 2/2. I had to think about that for a minute. 2/2 on 32 count Heartland. I started this July 4th of 20. I couldn't get my hands on any 36. It was the pandemic. Things were really hard. So I went ahead and started this on the piece of 32 that I had. And I had originally started it doing 1/2. And it wasn't dark enough. I didn't like it. So The border and the letters I've gone back over with another strand of floss. And then that middle, or that first, I think it's called camouflage. No, it's this first border right here, chickpea. Chickpea I'm going to leave alone because I just love that border. But there's my start on, and I'm trying to go slower. But there's my start on Little Birds. And it's a big girl. It's going to be a big girl. It's going to be, I can't remember the measurements, but it's going to be a big girl. The other Blackbird, I also started, I'm kind of hitting my mania starts. I want to get these done. I did 31 starts in 2020. And I won't do that again, but Where My Heart Blooms, this one was just released at market. I believe it's in the Hearts That Are Remembered. I can't remember the name of the book, but it's from Blackbird. A Heart to Remember. But this is the leaflet that was originally published back in 2008. And I've had this, and I really thought to myself one night, yeah, 2008, because it's also on there. But I've asked myself, why haven't I finished this? And I came up with a reason, a thought, or the answer. Maybe that's what I want to say. This chart I bought when I was working at the Quilt Crossing. And out of all the Blackbirds, if I could only do one Blackbird, this would be it. This has been my very, very favorite of theirs from the very beginning. I was scared. I was scared to start it. What if I make a mistake? What if I don't like the linen color? I came up with a bazillion excuses. But I did start this May 12th of 2020 in the pandemic. And I wasn't totally happy with the linen color I had chose. So I did recently start it again. I started it again about, I don't know, 6 or 8 months ago on a piece of R&R weathered shingle. Yeah, weathered shingle from R&R. And this is my start. But now that I like this color much, much better, I will be finishing this one. So this is kind of my March and April project. I'm going to get this one done. This is on my 32 and 22 list. I have 32 projects and 22 that I want to do. And this is one of them. Here's my other colors. Let me show you this. I keep these tags. I punch a tag and I write when I started it. And I keep it on the floss colors. This has been my favorite, one of my very favorite samplers of there from the beginning. Second would have to be Little Birds. And third is Coming to My Garden that I do have kitted up, but I haven't started that one yet. I also have the out of print Birds of a Feather that is still a whip for me, but I plan on finishing that. That's also one of my 32 in 22 projects for the year. 32 projects in the year 2022, and I'll be 32 whips down out of my 50 some odd. Okay, and then the last thing I worked on was something I did with my friend from New Zealand. I think she's Claire610 on Instagram. This is from JBW Designs, and it's the sampler that's down here on the bottom right. It's called Ambingdon. And we wanted to work, we both had a birthday month in February, and we both wanted to work on our a red sampler of some sort. So we did. This is Schoolhouse Red from the Gentle Arts, and it also has my sheep pin keep from sheep pin keep from a dear friend from my birthday. And I don't know if you can see that. I worked on that one. Can't wait to get this one out. I believe this one I measured out and it will fit in an 8x10 frame. So. Such funness around me. Such fun stitchy friends that I've had to work on things with. The 3 projects that I kind of want to focus on the middle of my 2022 year and the end. I do want to start this, and it's all kitted up. It's ready to go. Elizabeth Charnelay from La Di Da. Whew, this one's a beauty too. And it's called for as milk, something called milk chocolate from Fabrics by Stephanie. But I had a piece of hog bristle from Fox and Rabbit from Maggie's on Main, which today when I'm done recording, I'm going to go down and support their market party. I ordered a few things that I think are ready to be picked up. I kitted it up with my friend Crease, who stitched that piece right there for me. Floss drops that she gave me on a piece, like I said, hog bristle from Fox and Rabbit. Elizabeth Charlene from La Di Da. How about this? Oof. Oofta oofta. Pretty pretty. I'll probably be starting that. I'm not sure when I'm going to be starting that. But definitely in the next 2 to 3 months, I'll be starting this one. Won't be I don't believe that one's a finish for 2022, but I do want to get it started. The next thing I pulled out and got ready to go, because this is definitely a start for me here before the end of March, is O Tannenbaum by Brenda Gervais. And at first I was going to make just a bunch of pillows. And I got to thinking, I'll do something else. But I'm starting it on a piece of Everything Else linen, 36 count from Mystic, also from Maggie's on Main. They do mail order, so if there's something that you want to see if they have, I would definitely give them a call. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. That's the gorgeous colors in this O Tannenbaum. And I even got the chart ready, because the chart takes a little bit of prep work. The way Brenda has you get it ready to stitch, she has you stitch it on one, and I'll just flash this really quick. She just has you stitch it on one, put it together, and stitch it on one great big length of fabric. Here it is in the back. Here's all my taping job. And then you can kind of cut it so that it fits in the box. And that moves me to my last point, is I was going to start this all with, or what I want to say, finish these all into pillows for like a dough bowl. But I did find a box, and I really thought I was never going to find a box. This is from like 2015. I thought, I'm never going to find a box. And I had originally ordered the Coming to America sampler from, that was by Brenda Gervais, from a place called Beach Cottage Stitchers, and I believe they were out of Southern California. And I happened to I know what it was, I got an email from them, just with some shop updates and whatnot. And so I went on their website and I was poking around, and lo and behold, this box popped up. And I went, oh, I think that's the box. And sure enough, in the description, it said this was the box for O Tannenbaum. So if anybody's looking for a box, the Beach Cottage Stitchers has it. If you Google Beach Cottage Stitchers, and I'm 100% sure they are out of Southern California. Can't remember the name of the town, but she has an online shop, and you have to pay priority shipping for this, because otherwise I was just paranoid it was going to get, and it's really good quality. I thought it was going to be a lot more chipboardy than it is, but this one is finished in a kind of a creamy off-white buttermilk color. I thought about red, and I thought, no, red would be too dark. Those wouldn't show up very good. So I'll probably stick with this buttermilk grayish tan color. O Tannenbaum, with Thy Needle and Thread. Starting that one on a piece of Mystic from Mystic. Everything Else Mystic. Everything else is the name. The manufacturer is Mystic. I just thought that would be a really pretty fabric for that. I'm going to have a pile that is going to avalanche in 3 seconds. My daughter said something else funny too. We were driving along, and because we have 2 homes, one up in the mountains, one down here in southwest Idaho. Where I grew up is the one up in the mountains, and where I graduated from high school and spent all my childhood. Was raised on a sheep ranch. We don't live on the sheep ranch now, but it's a mountain house. Anyway, that's where I do all my quilting. My long arm is up there. My Bernina is here right now, but I'm going to take it up there and leave it in my studio. I just don't have room in this house in southwestern Idaho to do a lot of quilting or sewing projects. So down here, I need projects that are more portable. So hence, a lot of cross-stitching happens here, where a lot of quilting and bigger projects and long arm quilting happen up in the mountain house. We're driving along, and she says, and I was saying something about, yeah, I'm going to finish that this summer. Oh, it's my big long, my big 4x5 quilt block anthology quilt top. I said, yeah, I'm going to quilt that this summer. And she says, oh, most people have a winter house and a summer house. You have a quilting house and a cross-stitch house. I said, okay, Miss Chapstick Floss person. Same car ride, same conversation. When not about the chapstick, but the same conversation was in the car ride, and I had to remind her that she was the one that created the name for chapstick for flosses, was thread conditioner. Okay, this next one is a new start because I am abandoning this. This is cutting paper snowflakes. I think it's just called paper snowflakes, but on the chart it says cutting paper snowflakes. So it's paper snowflakes, and this is from 2000 and I want to say 13. Yeah, 2013, and I had started it on a piece of 28 count River Rock Lugana. Ain't happening for me. You can't see your scissors. I'm just not liking this at all. And I thought, oh, do I rip this all out, save this piece of linen? No, I'm just going to toss it. I'm not even going there. But I am going to start it again on the called for linen 36 count Abecedarian. And I even have the Baldani that it calls for. I have, everything's called for. And I have seen Christy Crosshatch Quilts started on this Abecedarian, and it's going to be so much, just, I'll be able to see it. So, yeah, 36 count Abecedarian from R&R, that quarter. Maggie's on Maine. They have so much wonderful, wonderful choice selection in their linens. I love that store. And speaking of Maggie's on Maine, I went in to pick up 2 DMC flosses. I needed them for a small little project that I was finishing. And Maggie and Frank are the owners. And Maggie and her daughter-in-law were at market, and I had gone in, and Frank said, oh, Shanda, I have something for you. And I said, for me, I said, market isn't back yet, so I know my stuff isn't here. And he says, no, I have something for you. And he went back to the office and brought out this envelope from Melissa in Michigan. It was addressed to Maggie's on Maine, and she had written them a letter and enclosed a letter for me. But she was trying to get a package of goodies to me, and the floss, some of the extra flosses she had, and different things. But I was touched by her endeavoring. She persevered in getting a letter to me, but she had mailed it to Maggie's on Maine. And wow, that took some just perseverance. So thank you, Melissa. I will be responding to your card and wonderful letter that you gave me, and I appreciate what you did for me, so thank you. The rest of this, actually, let me talk about these last 2 first, and then I'll do the Stacy Nash. One of the other starts I have here on April 3rd, it's also my granddaughter's birthday and a special friend's birthday is Sarah Casey Unwin. And I haven't quite decided on her linen yet. I have her kitted with a piece of 28 count Lugana Prim from Lori Holt. But I also was able to score and get my hands on 2 pieces of needle and flax linen, dirty teacup that's 36 count and 36 count Brea. So I'm going to wait for those to come in the mail and then see which ones I want to start Sarah Casey Unwin on. But she will be a start on April 3rd. And the other one I have kitted up, I've been busy kitting up because like I've said, I'm going to be retiring here at the end of May. Actually the middle of June because I needed to work that out for some health insurance. But I've been kitting up. I've only got 4 more to kit up over here near my stitchy chair. I'm seeing my basket. There's only 4 more in there that I need to kit up, and then pretty much everything is kitted up for me for the next 5-6 years, except for those squirrels, which I have been pretty successful at avoiding. I'll say that because you know who you are. You sent me down a squirrel hole with one that's going to be stitched. I don't have these on a ring yet, but I have kitted up, just not the linen. Thank you, Sarah Tobias from Blackbird. And here are the floss colors. I've had this book since it came out, and I wanted to stitch this. I just love that sampler. Thank you, Sarah Tobias. Ooh la la. That one probably, though, won't be a start for me until next year. But I have been busy starting up things, or kitting up things. I apologize for that little. Okay, the last is Stacy Nash. And these are all ones that I have kitted, but they're not started. 2 of them will be starts for 2022. The rest are just kitted, and I'll start them in the next, who knows when. Some are at Hollyberry Farm. This one isn't quite, and some of them have linen and some of them don't. And this one I think I'm missing a couple of colors, floss colors for, but I'll go down and get them here in the next month or so. Some are at Hollyberry Farm. The kit Silent Night Pin Keep and Ornament. That's got the flosses in it. No linens yet. Merry Christmas Pin Keep, and this is kitted up with a piece of 36 count up in the attic from Fox and Rabbit. And Stacy has it kitted with, or charted for DMC 221. So here's your linen, and I kitted it up with that floss color. 221 is my second favorite DMC red. My very favorite DMC red is 3777. But I just think that is so striking for this chart. I'll show you that one more time because I kind of did that fast. DMC 221 with a piece of Up in the Attic from Fox and Rabbit. The next 2 were kits from the Girls Club from Country Sampler in Spring Green, Wisconsin. Faded Garden Drum Pin Keep and Faded Garden Pin Keep Drum and Needle Keep. That's kind of a mouthful. This is the kit with the club that got the pedestals. Beautiful. And then the second one is It's a Wonderful Life. These are all kits from the Country Sampler. This one has, it's got everything in it. The thread, the finishing fabric, the linen. I'm not sure what these are. This one even has a waxer on it. That waxer that's a bell right here. Beautiful. This one is, I'm down to now to these project bags that are not made by me. They're just the ones from Amazon. And I just use these for kitting them up, and then I'll put them in a real project bag. But let's meet at the Garden Gate Pin Keep. And this one has the flosses, but no linen. Gotta love those red houses. I've been watching Lark Rise to Candleford. Red houses. It's my one weakness. sheep, stitching sheep. It's my one weakness. She would always, the postmistress would always say, you know, whatever it is, it's my one weakness. The next one was a PDF, and I have this kitted up with pomegranate sewing tray and persimmon scissor pod. This was a PDF that I bought and downloaded. This is the one that needed the tin bucket that a couple of you sent me. Thank you. And this is kitted up with a piece of, I believe I got this from Hollis Hands Create, Milk and Honey, Fiber on a Whim. Oh, just not enough hours in the day, I'm telling you. I think I counted till my retirement date, I counted like 63 working days, because I'm taking some time off here at the end of March to go to my annual quilting retreat that is up at my mountain home community. A local guild there has a quilting retreat at a bed and breakfast, and I'll be there for that. But I think I counted 63 working days. Can't come fast enough for me. And then the last Stacy Nash Ohio Farmstead Pin Keep. And I have this kitted up with a piece of 36 count Winter's Brew from R&R. And this piece is really large, so I definitely will have it to use on something else. I believe it is a fat quarter, but that's not going to take a fat quarter. But the colors, oh. Let me get this going the right direction. Yeah, 63 working days. I just can't wait. Ohio Farmstead Pin Keep. Stitching peacocks. It's my one weakness. Beautiful. And this one is in a project bag that I really originally made for my knitting. This is a pattern from, it's from somebody who works at the Quilt Crossing, where I used to work in Boise. Her name is Jane, but I can't think of the name. I'll scroll across the bottom here, but it's Practical Project Bags by, I'll put it across the bottom, but they are great. I serged the edges. You can definitely see everything you have in here. And these ones have a ribbed handle, per se. But this one, I finished up a knitting project in it, and I nabbed it for my cross stitch. Okay, so that is it. I hope this finds everybody well. Thank you for all the comments, especially on my last video, the comments on contentment. Yeah, with our crazy world, contentment is going to reign. We're going to have to be content. That will bring us peace. The adage of the day, I'm sure we will all learn, is use it up, wear it out, fix it, or do without. It's crazy, crazy, crazy world. So I pray for the people of Ukraine. I think that we are headed for a lot of turmoil in our world, and our stitching keeps us sane. Currently here in southwestern Idaho, our gas in our town is $4.39 a gallon. Diesel, I believe, just went to $5.19. We're going to have to start making do with some of the things we already have, what we have on hand. Be content with what you have. It could always be worse. The situations could always be worse. So until then, stitch more, start less, and lose some whips. If you stitch more and you start more than what you, or excuse me, if you stitch more and finish more than what you start, then you will lose those whips. So be content in your stitching, and I will see you the second Saturday of April. Time is going by so fast. So enjoy your stitching time.